Welcome to a brand new segment that I like to call Deep Cuts, in which we examine some of Dante Basco's deepest
My
cuts.
deep cuts? Oh shit.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play some clips of some work that you may have not seen in so long, and you're gonna give us a little bit of a background on what's happening.
Let's do it.
You're gonna hate this when Ryan does this kind of shit.
He goes for the jugular and he doesn't stop until you're dead.
Because it's him, there's no bad cuts.
No, I'm sure there's some different
There's one that he told us about last time was funny.
I got some probably weird shit in there.
Alright, here's one of my, we're gonna start off lean. This is a really good one.
Okay.
I personally love this one, it's one of my favorites.
Alright.
What's happening here?
And then she says, harder and not at the roots, but at the end because it hurts more. But I never wanted to hurt her. I want to love her.
Wow, look at that hair.
This is...
But somehow I didn't think she would let me.
Yeah.
And then she says, choke me.
Oh yeah.
Do you still remember this?
You know me, I mean, I'm a gentleman.
So I try to do it gently.
Damn!
Yeah. That's Def Poetry Jam.
Def Poetry Jam.
That's a poem called Nikki. I knew this girl named Nikki. It's about this time I was dating a stripper, and it was the '90s. We was young, and this. So I started a poetry venue in my living room. In the '90s, it became DPL, the Poetry Lounge, which is like the biggest weekly open mic venue in the country. That inspired, which became Def Poetry Jam on HBO, which went to Broadway and won a Tony and everything. So this is one of my classic poems called Nikki, which is about me at the time in my early 20s dating this stripper named Nikki. Yeah, and she was like she went, choked and hit, and it was a crazy story that I just told. And
It was like a freak versus a gentleman.
Yeah, it was like
How
a
to
freak versus a
navigate.
gentleman. I'm a gentle guy. I don't want to do any of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But every now and then, you get into a situation really kind of pushes your boundaries. But I say it in a way that's like, this is an adventure. Like, don't judge me on it. Like, this is just places we've been, and like, I don't really judge her either. It's just like,
it's an experience.
it's an experience.
Yeah.
I mean,
You sound like a little
she
freak.
was a dancer. I mean,
It's really good.
stripper. That's not for you, dancer. To be honest,
I ain't stripping.
no, I ain't stripping either.
But I test the boundaries.
I mean, that's the thing. We live in LA. We're from Hollywood. We're all in the we're all in the entertainment industry. I mean, we've all had whatever our ups and downs with fame and notoriety and the scene and the club scene
I didn't do a club scene.
This dude traveled around the damn world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but this guy was in the club scene fucking sober, dude. He's,
That's
We
true.
sober the whole time.
To be fair, yeah.
But hey, there's some sober snipers out there. Sober snipers.
Two things can be true at the same time.
Yo, guys and girls in the club that's sober, but they're sniping with exactly what they want, while the rest of us are like kind of making bad decisions.
oh, the rest of,
Yeah,
the rest of us are grabber claw machines.
Yeah, whatever. It's an open thing. Yeah.
An era where like before social media hit, before these smartphones were there, and we like out in the clubs and partying and everybody was like open. I think that the kids gotta be still open. They're just a little more on.
Well, there's no safety net. You don't go to your phone if you're uncomfortable. You have to talk to people.
There you go. There you go.
Now you can just background check people right away too.
Sure.
And if you're doing something stupid too, like having fun and you're super lit, there's always gonna be phones around. I feel like that's it. I'm not gonna get so trash because
And I think every guy, am I tripping? Did every guy go through like dating a dancer?
Yeah.
Never did a dancer.
I don't think I ever did it.
You never will.
Nikki danced. Don't lie.
When?
She did that like Hawaiian dancing stuff.
Oh, you're right. You're right. That didn't count to me.
That didn't count. But a lot of guys go through like, right?
I think
Anthony?
that's the thing. I think you have to because it's conventionally attractive.
It's attractive and you have this whole thing. It's like a fantasy thing, and
Sure.
they're like regular girls too.
Yeah, but not all of them strip, Dante.
I'm not. I'm
Unless she's like one of
not
these
judging. You know what I'm saying?
so sexy.
She's popping locking.
I mean, I'm a dancer too. I'm
don't wanna
always a
date
attracted
this.
dancer.
It's sexy right there.
All right.
Taking off.
Try not to look at this one.
Okay.
But look if you have to.
All right.
Ryan, can you make sure the volume's down lower this time? Because that hurt my ears.
This fool doesn't know clips from the 90s. All right. Listen to this.
What is that?
The question is, Robbie, what do you want?
Oh, I know what this is.
What are you talking about?
Touch my angel? Yeah.
Or do you want to turn your back on someone who needs your help? What do you know, huh? He ain't never gave me anything but a hard time.
Yeah, a little tough kid, huh?
What is this? Mr. O'Connor filled out this report on the stolen camera. Look here, where it says last person in possession of missing equipment.
Did I steal it?
Michael O'Connor?
But
He covered for me?
Yeah.
That's the kind of man he is.
Is that a teacher?
He wanted to
Not only the teacher is my guy, rest in peace, awesome dude from Three's Company.
John Ritter.
John Ritter.
Oh, really?
Awesome guy.
Why is the teacher talking to you all sexy like
That's
that?
not the teacher.
That's not the teacher.
That's the angel.
She's an angel.
She's so soft-spoken.
She got all sexy.
Do you remember this show, Touched by an Angel?
I remember Touched by an Angel, but I never watched it.
Why is an angel trying to have sex?
I remember my.
You got him that?
High schooler.
The angel kind of fine.
Hello, touch me.
We shot that in Utah. Utah did all these like kind of
Utah's where the angels be touching.
religious shows because there was Touched by an Angel. I did all the religious shows. I did Highway to Heaven.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And I did there's another one, Promised Land. But this was Touched by an Angel. John Ritter, rest in peace.
John Ritter, the
And
legend.
I'm always playing, I always play, like I'm a brown kid in Hollywood. I'm always like the kid that's kind of like a bad kid that did something wrong.
Dangerous Minds, dude.
Dangerous Minds. But you know what? I always turn by the end of the story. Like, he's actually. And this one, I end up saving my teacher from something.
You
he's
like
in hospital.
you jacked the camera from like the AV room or something.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And then
like,
the teacher got carjacked, but then you can afford to help him somehow if
Something.
you confess that you took the camera or something. Yeah, it's crazy.
I do remember. One time, I remember because there's a scene Jack Ritter. Three's Company. Jack Ritter, kind of.
Of course.
Was it Eight Simple Rules as well?
Legend.
Yeah.
And he's like in the thing, like dead and everything. And I'm like, to him, I have a monologue or something happening. I'm having an emotional scene. And he's off camera and he's like, and I'm like, I'm sorry that I didn't, whatever I was doing. And he's sleeping and then he's like, off camera, like you.
He's funny as hell in real
He's
life.
funny.
Cool.
He's great. And I had to I remember I asked him on set, because I'm playing a teenager, but at this time I'm like probably mid-20s. I'm probably 25.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, yo, Jack, you gotta tell me about, John Ritter, his character's name was Jack Tripper in Three's Company. And it was like one of the biggest shows in the 80s, and he's pretending to be this gay guy that lives with two women, because the landlord wouldn't let the guy live with two girls, so he had to pretend he was gay. And so he had like the cute brunette girl and the cute blonde chick, right? But he was a big star in the 80s, and I was like, John, you gotta tell me, what was it like just in the scene while you were doing Three's Company? And he's like, Dante, you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
That's a good answer.
My guy was 80s, like,
oh my God,
doing it big.
Yeah. And those chicks were fucking hot.
Oh, dude, Suzanne Summers, Joyce DeWitt.
Joyce DeWitt. And he was like the guy, like funny guy. Like he was probably.
Oh, swimming in it.
Different times, different era.
All right, don't look.
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
This one I didn't see until now, but.
Let's stop. Let's do some kicks.
Oh, you were in this?
What are you doing? You, yes. Kick. Higher. I want you to kick twice as high.
I don't even know
and you,
what this is.
What are you doing? Kick.
Oh, I'm blonde. This is Fist of the North Star.
Damn, you saw this?
Yeah, but like I was young.
Fist of the North Star, It's like the 1996 version of.
But it's like based off of what the 80s anime.
Yeah. So
that main dude who gets fucking fingers in his chest and shit like that.
95, yeah.
So basically, back in the day, this is before anime. Like now, people all know anime. One Piece,
Everybody knows this
everything,
now, yeah.
all kinds of stuff. But when I did this, no idea what anime really was. Robotech. We knew what Robotech was and stuff. And they gave me a bunch of manga stuff, and they're like, "You're gonna play this character." And so, I shot this movie. Great. It's cool. They even dyed my hair blonde, which is crazy. Rocking around.
It's weird seeing you blonde.
As this like Filipino kid in LA for that whole summer, like with blonde hair. And I was dating a blonde chick at the time, and I was like, we're looking crazy. But my memory of that particular movie, Chris Penn was in that movie, Sean Penn's brother, Chris Penn from Reservoir Dogs. And while we were shooting that movie, was when the OJ running from the cops was going on.
Oh shit.
During the Knicks game, and we're shooting it, and like Chris Penn's like tripping out because like I met OJ was my hero growing up, and he's like, man, he totally got set up. We spent like the whole evening one night in Chris's trailer watching the chase, the 40-mile-an-hour chase. That's not a real chase, but we're like watching it and just tripping on the whole thing during the shoot of that.
Wow, we were just talking about that yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, the OJ thing.
Oh, OJ passed away.
That's crazy to be watching that with somebody who knows him and is on his side.
Like I said, and like
that perspective.
well,
That's crazy.
like I said, I was a kid at the time, and I just knew him from commercials and stuff, so I was rooting for him the whole trial.
Yeah.
No, not me too. I mean, I definitely was rooting for him.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's a whole thing too where I was like, at the time, I'm like living in the neighborhood. You know, I'm living in Paramount, which is like a whole thing when that was going on. But my girlfriend at the time, you know, was in Orange County, and I was going to Orange County School of the Arts, and blonde chick, both her parents are cops. And I'm like having dinner with like this whole thing of, ooh, what the fuck am I doing here? I'm an actor. I'm like, I mean, the only reason I'm here because you probably see me in some shit. And we would have these conversations about O.J. Simpson. And I was like, but I was definitely rooting for him. But later on, I met people that like partied with him and his wife Nicole. And
Yeah.
I found a lot of stuff later on that wasn't really, you know, put out there.
Yeah.
Like with the drugs and the partying and that part of LA, like yeah, they was all wild, and anything could have happened. Like, and who knows if he did it or not. But I always thought people
With all the wild stuff that you know, you think you did it, or you...
He probably looked at the Dante's like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I think there was a lot more drug use going on when there's a lot of drug use going on, and money, and you don't know.
Anything could happen.
Anything happen. But I thought that was really not the point of the thing. When I look back, I like people missing the point because like, oh, it's OJ got away with this and that. I'm like, when you grow up in a neighborhood where like people get killed all the time, and there's gangsters and there's things going on, like in the hood, that's where we grew up. It's like people getting killed all the time out here. Like, what are y'all tripping on that particular situation? What you're missing is, for me, it was like, he got off. Like, whether he did it or not, there's people getting off all the time in different social structures, right? Classism. It's just the first time a black dude got off. But what we got to understand is that's the real moral of the story. If you have money in this country, you can create things. If you don't have money, then you're screwed. And so they made it about him being black and this, and I'm like, nah, dude, it's about him being rich. Because there's a lot of rich white people or whatever that get off doing, you know, murder's horrible, and even worse than murder, right? Like corporate companies are going, we're killing thousands of people, and we have the money, so we're getting off. And so we forget to go, oh no, it's about rich people getting off.
They always cloak it really well. If you saw the ESPN documentary, it's so fascinating the way that they framed OJ to the jury. They went through his house, changed all the pictures of him with like, he's usually with white celebrities and shit like that. Changed all of it to him and like other black people so that it would convince the jury like, hey, he's like, he's one of you. Like, it's all.
If you're rich, you can do all that stuff, and it gets done all the time. And we think, oh, it's just a black dude getting off. Like, nah, dude, it's not a black dude getting off.
It's just a rich dude getting off.
It's a rich dude getting off, and he just happens to be the first black person that we know of to see it, and that's the lesson that we did not learn really. And no one frames it that way. We still frame it like, oh, this is black dude. They go, nah, dude.
That ain't a guy like you.
That ain't you and me. That's someone. And if you have a lot of money, you know, did you watch Making a Murder over the COVID?
Oh yeah.
I did too, and they said the most poignant thing was like those lawyers said, you can live your life any way you want. Like, I'm never gonna do this crime, and that's in your control. But what you can't control is someone accusing you of doing a crime. Once someone accuses you of doing a crime and you do not have the money and the know-how to fight it, you're screwed.
So true.
Yeah. That's the scariest thing. You're like,
right.
You could be an angel, and someone said you did it, and you don't have no money to defend yourself.
Can't even afford.
You're screwed.
How about this? The threat of a lawsuit. You get that yellow envelope in the mail, and they tell you we have an intention on suing you, maybe, and you know you don't have the resources. They got you by the balls.
That's the scary thing. And that's the scary thing. I mean, you know, the woke stuff is like when us all being in the public eye, as soon as someone's accused you of some shit.
Yeah, it's already a
and then we're like, what the fuck? How do I defend myself? You can't.
Yeah, how do you repair your reputation?
Right.
You can't even afford to settle out of court.
No, I know.
All right, listen to this one. This was my favorite one out of all of them.
Okay, let's go.
You'll know it right away.
Okay.
But you guys...
The other ones were deep cuts. The other ones are deep ass cuts. I don't even know what those were.
Thing is, you're in the neighborhood. Gotta have
Oh yeah, I know this is.
I want you to take off that bandana.
Shut up.
Shut up.
It makes you different.
Hey, I am different, man. It's who I am. No, Louise.
Damn!
Nailed it.
You belong to a gang that uses you to run errands for them.
Hey.
You smoke crack a few times.
I smoked crack a few times!
All right, this one's my favorite too.
Sometimes you don't. But that's what you do.
This is
Big
crazy.
deal. We're all tired of hearing your same old story. Your gang is boring and it's putting us to sleep. We want to hear about who you are.
Okay.
Take off the bandana, buddy. Just for here.
Yo.
I'll hold it for you.
Okay. This.
Hey, man, it's no big deal.
Have you heard from your mom, Louise? You know, Dr. DeVito reached her grandmother.
Mi abuelita?
Why don't you try her?
Mi abuelita?
What's the point? The point is that you're going to need a support system when you get out of here.
She's an angel too.
I ain't got no one but my homeboys, man.
Damn, dude!
They are it.
So,
They are it.
Are you in every white savior porno that ever?
everything. This was actually back in the day. There was these things called after school specials.
After school special.
That was I don't know, ABC, CBS,
Yep.
after special. ABC?
Yeah, CBS.
CBS after.
Bandana, man.
I'll hold it for you.
You've been smoking crack.
So this whole thing, all of us kids are in rehab. So we're like all these kids in rehab, right? And like I'm like I guess Latino Mexican dude. But what's crazy is Drew Barrymore's in the show.
Yeah. Drew Barrymore's sitting right across
Drew
from me.
Barrymore. Corey Feldman.
Yeah, Corey Feldman.
That was my counselor was Tatum O'Neal. These are all actors that had drug problems. Like had Tatum O'Neal
In real life.
in real life. I don't know. I never got this, but I felt like is this after school special like part of your guys' like with Corey and with
part of
Drew
their sentence.
part of their sentence. Like you guys gotta do this thing.
You have to do a show.
I never had a drug problem. Never. That's
How old are you?
Crack, dude.
I didn't like.
You have a gambling problem.
I never been gambling. I liked girls.
Latino.
Girls I liked, and I'm Latino. I'm Philip. Look, in a different era.
Your abuelita.
Growing up at that time, like obviously casting is totally different these days. You know what I'm saying? But those days,
You gonna get canceled for this.
around-
1989.
Nah, man. Like half of my resume is either like Mexican or
Cancel.
Puerto Rican,
Yeah.
and then all different kinds of Asian. I think I played like Vietnamese and Chinese,
for sure.
Korean.
Well, because in the Antonio Banderas movie, are you supposed to be
Puerto
Hispanic?
Rican.
You're supposed to be Puerto Rican. in that.
Puerto Rican. And I was like, yo, the kid's name was Miguel Ramos. I'm like, that's a Filipino name. Can I be Filipino? And they're like, nah, you're in New York. We want you to be Puerto Rican. Put this Puerto Rican flag on your thing. And I'm like, damn, you gotta put all these flags on?
To have people telling you smoked a little crack.
You gotta take a little crack. This one plays to be Mexican.
How old are you there?
I was
89.
12 or 13. I remember like me and Drew were the same age, but Drew was like,
You and Drew Barrymore the same age in this
yeah,
video?
Drew was like hella grown up.
God.
Yo, when I met Drew,
Drew Barrymore looks like she's 30 in there.
they're like 6 months older than me, and she was so like,
She's
cool.
already
You know, when
advanced.
you're young, and you're like, she's so cool and
Developed.
That's a
even.
trip.
already been through all like, she
Titties came in. Is that what you're about to say?
I know.
You're sick.
club in and everything, and we were like 12, 13. I might have been 12. She was probably 13.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And Corey Feldman was already having problems at that point, too.
Yeah, Corey already had been through some stuff. Corey's 16. I'm still friends with Corey. I haven't seen Drew in a bunch of years, but I still see Corey every now and then.
That's dope.
That was it was a fun time. I don't know, it was cool.
How did you not have a drug problem? I feel like all like kid actors
You avoid that.
end up going through some crazy phase. Did you ever have a crazy phase?
No, I mean, I'm always with my brothers. That's one thing. Like I'm always with my brothers. So I never kind of got separated into the part. Like we'd all party because I'm watching. Of course, it's like right now with Quiet on the Set. There's a lot of talk about child abuse within like the whole Hollywood scene, and all the people they're talking about, and like I know, like I've seen people. People say, "Oh, this guy did this. This guy." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know that guy. I know that." I mean, but I would never. Even though I was in a lot of those parties and we were around a lot of those people, I never got separated into some private conversation. Because I'm like, I'm always with my brothers. Like, we just leave. We're always together. It's like, you can get we're gonna try to get 3, 4 of these guys in. Like, can we
Go for it.
Can we convince all these dudes to do some crazy shit? You know what I'm saying?
That might have been the goal, though.
That might
huh?
have been the goal. Like, maybe we get all of them. That'd be crazy.
All 4 Puerto Ricans together.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, there's obviously, when I look back, there's predatorial people doing not just sexual things, money things. There's all kinds of stuff because you got little young kids making money and stuff. And but we're also trying to party. But it's also a different time. There was no cameras. It was like we would just party and just kind of like, you know, drink maybe. I don't know. There's certain clubs that would let us in, and we would kind of go to these clubs underage. But it was like, there was also just like innocent high school things. Like someone would go have a room at the Holiday Inn in Burbank. And then we're like, oh, we're all there. And like, you're there, and it's like, you know, it's like young Leo and young Toby and young, like, people trying to hook up with girls and getting drunk. And well, maybe someone would break up the room. You're like, why are you being an asshole? Like, someone's gonna have to pay for this. But we were like kid stuff. Like now it's like the kids are like, we rented a yacht and a mansion in Ibiza.
right,
I'm like, damn.
Right.
I always tell kid actors now, I'm like, you guys are like on the cover of Vanity Fair and Vogue. We were like on Bop magazine, Tiger Beat.
Tiger Beat.
No one gave a shit about what we were doing.
But did you go to a Diddy party?
No.
And think about that, didn't you?
Next, we're gonna
Did
talk
you?
to,
I'm not talking about Diddy on camera.